G'day, hi, and welcome. Okay, I guess this thing's on. All right, so it's another day. Do the check. No mice. No mouse. No mouse. No mouse. Mouseless. I think it's mouseless. Yeah, no. Okay, so the relative humidity in here is 75. I just opened the windows. Smells okay in here. Got all the windows open, so uh, everything's swept. I'm gonna lollygag a little bit today because it's Saturday and unfortunately I could have done a gig today, but my friend, she got a hold of me way too late, and I wasn't able to prepare to, and without the vehicle I wouldn't be able to get the equipment there, and I don't have a PA system and stuff like that, so I'll have to let her know if I wasn't able to do it. But I got to get the back wall today, so this is the weekend where I'm going to try to get the back wall done. Got a little bit of plastic. I don't think it's enough for 5 windows, but it might be enough for 2. So I can get rolling on that. If I can get the windows and the back wall done this weekend, everything else is kind of like take my time with. You know what I mean? I was just talking to the lady at the store there, my cousin's wife. She's like, so yeah, you can do all kinds of projects in the wintertime here. I said, well, there's really not much to do. I said, I've pretty much done it in the house for now. I just got to keep it clean. That's it. Um, there's still more dishes to do. But guys, I'm like, seriously, this time I mean it. I'm near the end. I mean it this time. Yeah, I might even chuck some out. I don't know what I'm gonna do with those plants. I don't know if those are gonna survive the winter or not. Probably not. But yeah, I got one of the cactuses is kissing the ground there, so it's like, yeah, maybe I should give them some. But I don't know how often to water them. Like if you water them like too much, you kill them anyway. So I'm like, I'll wait till they're almost dead and then I'll water them and then see if they come back. And I think it's more. I don't think it's a water issue. I think they're just not getting enough sunlight. And it's that time of year where it's frost overnight, damp and frost overnight. That'd kill a cactus pretty darn quick. Although the cactus is out on the veranda, aka my garage, are looking okay. So goals for today is see how much plastic I got there for the windows, and dig out the back wall and make a trail into the woodshed so I can get more stuff in there. Like I don't care if I even throw some of my junk in because I know my stuff from my brother's stuff, and my brother's not going to be coming down here for a good while yet. My dad came in the other day and he was kind of like wow. He says you can still smell the stuff a little bit, but he was wow. He was like nothing like it was. But like they're going through stuff up there too. Like when you move, it's like okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this. No, okay, I'll take it. And then once you get there, you can go through box after box. Okay, I really don't need this. I really don't need that. And sort of doing that today because decluttering is it's a weird thing because like what do you keep, what do you get rid of? You got a stack of papers and bills and stuff like. Oh, is this important? Let me think about it and put it in another pile. This one, okay, I know that's not important. Get rid of it right away. And you do that at least once a year. Like go through your paperwork at least once a year. And you'd be surprised how much you throw out or burn or whatever you do with it. But yeah, I'm kind of happy that I haven't caught a mouse in about 3 days. So 3 or 4 days, like that's a good sign. That's a good sign. And the basement's still dry, and it's rained, but it hasn't rained hard. So I'm thinking that the water where it was coming, where I suspect it was coming in, that's where it was coming in, and just as it come off the roof and pool up on the corner there and just leak right into the house. I'm almost sure that's where most of it was coming from. But until we get like those monsoon rains that we kind of get there, I won't know. But when it does, I'm jumping in that crawl space and I'm going to check out to see. I'll be able to see exactly where it's running in from. I have a hunch it's spot on this wall where the bricks are pushed in a bit, because what else would push in the bricks, right? Other than like water or whatever, you know. And then possibly on the back wall, because I've seen the leak coming out of there before, but I never, you know, this was like, you know, I'd see it. My brother showed me it, but I didn't like investigate, like really crawl in there and okay, it's exactly coming from here. This is why, like, think about how the water runs off, right? So if the back of your house is okay, like here, and the hill's like this, which it kind of is, right? And it goes up like this. So if the water's here, it comes all the way down, pulls up here, right? But if you dig that back to here, the water comes down, pulls up. It'll eventually get to there, but it's gonna go like that. Now dig the wall lower, and you're back here. You know, like it's more likely to go under the house. Not enough to erode the house and create a big. I mean, who knows? It could be a giant sinkhole. I could be sitting on a time bomb, wake up in a big freaking hole one day. Where am I? I'm in China. Holy jeez, how did that happen? Fell through the earth. Whoops. That I shouldn't laugh about that because it does happen to some poor people. There was one poor guy. Is like his house just basically sunk in the hole while he was sleeping in bed. They never found him. It's like they never found the house. Like it sunk in that. I don't know how far down it went, but like yeah, it's like those big sinkholes you get in Florida. Because they have a whole bunch of lime rock there, right? And then things erode away underneath, and then suddenly your city goes. In Hull, Quebec, there, Hull, Quebec is similar in a way to like San Francisco hills wise. Maybe not as long a hills, but it's very hilly because it's built right on the Gatineau Hills, right? So when it rains, it's all you know, like it's not. It wasn't a good spot to build buildings, right? So what ends up happening is you get a lot of erosion under the streets. So dump truck or fire truck will be or garbage truck will be driving along, goes through the street. It's like poor guy goes through the dash or whatever, end up in the hospital. But yeah, it's like it's not uncommon to have like vehicles fall through the street there. Just you know, things were built when there was no regulations, right? So I said, we'll just build a city here. We won't question whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. We'll just build it here. What do you do, right? So I got all that stuff to do today. I want to play around a little bit more. I brought my pick and shovel back, so I'll see how far I get. It's like just getting motivated to do something though. I got to start checking up my traps to see the condition of my traps. See if we're gonna have to pick up a couple of new ones. I think, if memory serves me correct, that new Pro Nature store or whatever they're calling it in Gracefield, I think they're selling trapping equipment too. Because I'd like to pick up at least four more conibears. For beavers, it doesn't really matter if you wax them or not. Like it really doesn't. They don't care. You just got to put them where they're going to float into them. That's really what it comes down to. What I really want, and I might have to make them because every time I go to buy them, they're always sold out. But the trap holders make life easy for myself. Trap holders, it's just metal and you just slide it on there and you can put it at whatever depth you want. But I could make them if I had to, but you know, I'd rather just buy them, and they don't have to be much. Like they're pretty. Like I made wood versions of them, but the problem with the wood ones is they usually get broken and they're big and they're bulky and whatever. I'd like to have the metal ones, and that would work so much better. Yeah, so yeah, because that's October's coming quick, guys. We're like I guess this is the last weekend of September. Oh my God, where did the year go? Where did the year go? But I do have a little bit of work for the least the next month. Maybe not enough to cover everything, but enough to keep it going long enough there. So it's gonna be a tough winter. I think it's gonna be an early winter, and that's gonna make things really tough for me. The trapping, it's gonna pay a little bit because I'm gonna charge $10 a beaver, and then running back and forth time. But I want to keep it you know uh, feasible for people. So let's say I catch like 19 beavers. Okay, well, $190 would, be good. Plus, I keep the beaver, and whatever. But I don't know what beaver pelts are at right now. I didn't look at the. I'll have to check it out tonight, but to see what the fur harvesters auction, what kind of numbers they got last year. Uh, Last past couple of years, furs have just been they tanked across the board. So I don't know, and I'm going to be catching these beavers fairly early in the season. Like I'm not going to be going there in January. It's just not, it's not really worth it for me to do that. Like you should check your traps every night, type of thing, and they're there all the time. But once the ice is on stuff, like I said, we'll probably get into about early to mid November before the ice is overtaken, and once the ice overtakes, then you know game over. Like we'll get them next year. So then I told him, I said there's going to be the start of a kind of a relationship. I was like it's not like okay I trapped them and that's it. What tends to happen is it takes a couple of years to trap them out because what happens is the surrounding beavers move in. So it's not only you got to catch those, you got to get the other surrounding beavers. So it takes like 2 or 3 years to trap out an area. Uh, and there's two ways to go about it. You can trap out the area completely, and then just wait for the next batch to come back in a couple of years later, and they will. Or you can trap them down to like one or two, and just leave them, and they'll stay in the territory, and it'll take longer for the other beavers to come in because there's already beavers there, and they're territorial, right? So there's that kind of stuff to do. But I think I'm just going to trap them out all, because like I have a client right beside that. I now have two clients side by side, right? Well, it's going to be technically three clients side by side, and it's just like, okay, yeah, well, let's three of us coordinate, and you know, if I can run, because like I hadn't been able to run on his property to see what the situation actually is, but now that I've been there, there's a little bit more exploring I want to do. But my hunch is that because if I can get stuff from the other side, if I could attack the beavers from any angle, there's no place for them to get away. Because that was probably what was happening with my other client was I catch them on her side but not on his side, and because it's his property, and I don't trespass and stuff like that. And there's other trappers that trap a little bit further down. Uh, I'll leave those guys alone because what was the name of the Mad Trapper? You guys remember the movie with Charles Bronson? It was based on a true story. The guy with the was it something Casey? Anyway, the guy had like spina bifida. They believe he died, but they're like he might have actually gotten away uh, and stuff like that. It was yeah, the Mad Trapper. Yeah, I remember watching that movie as a kid. Like, oh wow, that's a great movie. But the story of the guy was quite the character and stuff like that. So I don't want. I told him I didn't want a Mad Trapper scenario where it's like, oh, you stole my trap, blah blah blah, and you know, yeah, it's like yeah, stuff like that can happen if somebody's trapping a territory and they got permission over there. I'm like, okay, no, that they could be over there. I'll be over here. That way, if my traps disappear, I'm not going to be blaming them. If their traps disappear, they're not going to be blaming me, right? Because people do steal stuff, right? That's my only concern about the where I'm setting the traps. Like if it's near like right near the main road or whatever, I won't because people will just steal the traps. That's a little too expensive for me to lose traps. I don't know what a 330 Conibear is going for right now, but I need. See, I ordered from. What was it's the Fur Harvesters Auction main supply depot. It's like what was it called? What's the place called? Anyway, I ordered from them. They were great, except for the guy screwed up on one thing. I wanted a tail splitter, and he thought I meant a tail stripper, which I already have like two of them. and he sent me that instead. And he didn't have the because I had ordered the trap holders. He didn't have them in stock, and I ordered, I forget how many Conibears, but a couple. I know a couple of new ones, and one of the new ones got taken away when the beaver dam let go on me up there and on our property. So right now there's no beavers on our property. I've pretty much trapped them all up. They're all way up that way now. So it's like, okay, no problem. My dam's gone. Damn, my dam's gone. That's still, I still can't get over that. I was like, where'd it go? It was like huge. It's gone. It just let go. uh, and I also informed, like, like I'll be catching, what's called muskrats and otters and stuff like that. I said that's just part of the territory, but it's all fur bearing. But I got to see when everything actually starts and stuff like that. Because like there is like right now it'd be the easiest time to get them, but there is a season, right? So with the trapping, and you can't get municipalities sometimes will give people permits to shoot beavers and stuff like that, but you have to prove that they're a major nuisance, and there's a big gray area there. And I'm like, wow. I said, if you lived with them this long, another month is gonna, it's gonna take me a little while to get all my stuff all set up. Anyway, I took pictures yesterday so I could look at it and say, okay, no, I'm gonna use this setup. I'm gonna use that setup. Sometimes when you just don't know what to use, you do what did I call those straps? Uh, uh, yeah, like I got to build like a Beaver Guantanamo Bay. Those work well. I gotta put the poplar on the traps. I've caught so many beavers with that method. It's like potato. Sounds like a Harley there. With that method where you just put the trap in on a pole, in the middle, just kind of like near an entrance somewhere, and you just put like pieces of fresh poplar on the trigger, and they come in. They go for the poplar, right, and they get caught. I remember one time I caught three of them in one shot like that. But what I told them, I said my goal is to do a blitzkrieg where we catch them all in 1 or 2 nights, because the beavers, they catch on, and once they catch on, they'll never go near the trap. They'll actually move the trap out of the way. They'll figure out a way to set it up. There was one beaver, he was setting it off with his sticks. Once he figured it out the first time, at first I thought it was just a fluke, because sometimes like the beaver will have a stick in his mouth when he gets caught, and I've seen that happen many times. But once you start seeing, okay, they're literally setting the trap off with a stick because they know that's how you get past the darn thing. So I remember I caught one beaver, and then the next night there was a stick in it, right? Okay. The night after there was a stick in it, and the trap. I remember what happened. Yeah, okay, I caught the beaver, right? And rather than mourning the loss of his buddy, he just packed him. He literally buried the dead beaver in the trap. I was like, somebody stole my trap, and I saw the chain. I was like, no, did it break? And I started. And he was like, here's this poor beaver. They just packed him in with the mud. He said, well, he's dead anyway. And he was kind of fat. He'll hold the water. So they packed this poor beaver. He was so full of mud. It took me forever to get him cleaned off. Yeah, I just had to like go like that with him in the water there for about 10 minutes just to get the mud off of him. Poor guy. But yeah, he was just like, yeah, they packed him in there. And then after that, they kept setting it off. And I never caught that beaver. He actually figured it out. So that's why you want to blitzkrieg, kind of catch them all at once. Like I said, the best thing is to trap the house if you can find the house. And I don't know if I'm dealing with bank beavers, which I have a hunch I am because of the way they're coming in on the lake. But like I said, you'd never find them unless you just act like, if you find where all the sticks are floating, then they're there, and then you'll find it. But like I said, they can, they can make a tunnel, go in that tunnel. They could be 15 feet in on the shore or under the ground. You'd never know. That's the thing with bank beavers. They're a lot harder to track. Not impossible, but if you don't have access to a boat to tour around the lake to look for where they might be coming out of, yeah, But yeah, we'll see how many I catch anyway. Hopefully, it's a fruitful year, and hopefully the fur prices go up, make it worth my while. So I'll get paid per beaver, and then paid for my time a little bit, and then whatever I make off the beavers. So that could be. It won't be a major money maker, but it's something to during the downtime that I'll be able to do, and that. So anyway, I figured that's the update for the day, and we'll go from there.